Okay, so I finally got it. So today I'm going to be unboxing the Gaahleri Aventus. I am so excited. I got this airbrush right after Thanksgiving. It was my birthday present to myself. And I bought this airbrush because I was just so excited to see another airbrush coming out from Gaahleri. So I just got it in the mail and we're going to go ahead and unbox this airbrush and then I'm going to use it on something. Something I've been really excited to get out of the box as well. So let's go ahead and look at this airbrush and see what it has to offer. I am not an airbrush snob. The airbrush I was using before I found Gaahleri is the Pache Talon, and the Pache Talon ran my shop for 11-12 years before I found the Gaahleri airbrushes, and I completely switched over 2 years ago, and I have not regretted that move. And now I see that there's an airbrush that's coming out that literally is, I think it's about the same amount of money as I would have bought a full kit for the Pache Talon, which is ridiculous because I find the Pache Talon to be unusable. All of my Talons, I think I have 30 of them. They are all sitting in a box, and now that box is a paperweight. So I would like to thank Gaahleri for continuing to come out and innovate. And I'm really excited to see what this airbrush has to offer. And I'm going to get started right now. So we're going to open this up and give it a whirl. All right. So as I was saying, I did go ahead and buy this airbrush. I do have some airbrushes that were gifted by Gaahleri, but I wanted to just go ahead and buy this one. All right. So right away, I just see that their packaging is just getting more and more sophisticated even. There's a exploded view of the airbrush, and I always appreciate that. So before I get started, I'm going to put these on my fingers. We're going to do this video before I get on the plane. I'm supposed to go to Texas to do a job for Modelo. I have an ongoing contract with Modelo and the Houston Texans. We do all the tattoos for their tailgater experience, which is super fun. I can't tell you how much fun it is. Traveling is exhausting, but it also cuts into my ability to film. So we're going to be traveling a lot less because I'm going to be doing a lot more content creation. And it's because I am dropping my own platform, my own airbrush platform. It's going to be a whole experience. And as you can see, I've put a lot of thought into my creative space here and the vibe that I have going on in the studio. And I want to invite people in to the studio in a way that keeps me still creating and airbrushing, so you can airbrush with me instead of watching me. All right, let's open this baby up and see what we have. So I have my light on and we can see what comes in the box. Now, when I open up Gaahleri boxes, I'm always impressed with the communication that they have. There's a little quick start guide. Ooh. Get up. Oh, that's a nice weight. Now that is a nice looking airbrush. The black Aurora. I'm obsessed with Auroras, and it's been coming up a lot for me. We just did a job where a huge client in San Francisco asked us to do Aurora airbrush tattoos. And I was like, I mean, that's a vibe. But I really had to think on that, on how to do an Aurora tattoo. I did figure it out. They were fabulous. But the black Aurora, though, I'm going to be painting a lot of Auroras on this channel. So this is very well named. Okay, so I'm pulling out okay, so it does come with the washers, and those are good to have. And it also has the 0.4 tip and nozzle. And I'm going to pull this out so I can get a feel for this airbrush. And, you know, that's one thing that I love about Gaahleri airbrushes is that you can, switch out different parts. So this came from a Mobius, and it's a larger, obviously. Now, sometimes I'm doing larger pieces, so I like a bigger bowl. And this one came from, this is the same size as the other Mobius, which love that. Okay, so this comes with the quick disconnect adapter, and from what I saw online, it has a magnetic tip. I don't know. Nope. Is it? Oh, what the hell? Ooh. Okay, so that is not magnetic, but it's just really, really finely tooled. And I started this video out by saying I'm not an airbrush snob. And it's because I've been working with a workhorse airbrush for so long that I got used to it. And I realized that I was not enjoying my time and my experience with it. And that's when I started asking myself whether or not I was doing my best airbrushing. And the answer was no. So that's when I decided that I had to update my airbrush fleet. And when I say fleet, I mean I have about 30 airbrushes right now, I think. Maybe twice that if you count the ones I don't use anymore. And that's just all the airbrushes that I've had over the years. I don't throw them away. I keep them just, for posterity. I don't know. I kept them for use. I knew that in the future I would be showing other people how to airbrush. And if I can show you all the airbrushes that failed me, if I can help one person, then I'm doing my job here. So anyway, back to this, Gaahleri airbrushes have, and they didn't pay me to say this, and they're not my sponsor or anything like that. I just tell you what, that company changed my artistic life because I, like I said, was bored of airbrushes, the airbrushes that I was using, but at the same time, I have a shop to run and I have really, really high level clients that I cannot fail. So I can't go to an event or go on set and have an airbrush that I cannot trust that is going to get the job done. And it's happened, and I don't ever want to have that happen again. So when I moved my airbrush fleet over to Gaahleri, I was giving them trust in their customer service and in their backup parts and replacement parts and upgrade parts and also the innovation to keep coming. And they've done it within, but even beating the price point that I needed it to be, because like I said, I am running a shop here and it has to make sense for me to buy an airbrush set. And when the airbrushes that I was using before, the price just kept going up, but the quality kept going down, that's when I knew I had to do something. So back to this airbrush right here, I'm really impressed with that little feature right there. I like to make sure that everything is nice and tight. I don't like things that feel loose or like things that might fall off. I like the action of the top. I know that they were going through some production issues and they have addressed that, and some of the tops were harder to get off. But this feels good to me. I'm happy with that. The action, I've heard other people that, they probably do much more precise work because what I do requires a stencil. So I get a real advantage, and I have thousands and thousands of these stencils. So I can pretty much just take what I need to do and put it down really quickly with a stencil, and my finer work is allocated to certain airbrushes. And right now it's the Mobius 0.2 millimeter. All right, so I'm gonna put some water in this, and what is this part called? Let's see what this part is called. Yeah, so it's not loose, it's not jiggly. Let's say it compares to the action there. Let me do this. I'm gonna put some water out. I'm just gonna get a feel of the action of the airbrush. Just gonna get out some of my pipettes. Yeah, I like fancy things. My pipettes are shaped. All right, so that's something that you can catch up with me on my platform. I have different portals, and the portals are an entryway to another level of airbrushing. So in the entry portal, I share all of my tools that I use that make me happy airbrushing, and it's gonna be so much fun sharing that stuff. I'm planning for our launch to be within a couple of weeks. So if you haven't already subscribed or followed, now's the time, because what I'm about to unleash onto the world, not like anybody's ever seen before. All right, so here we are. I love the way it feels in the hand. Now this is what they call the peaceful valley, and I actually love that. I'm airbrushing like this. I'm trying to keep my wrist as straight as possible. Because when I airbrush for sometimes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And my ergonomics and my posture are important. So I'm trying to make it so that I'm not doing any strangeness like this, or yeah, I'm trying to keep my wrist straight, so like that. So I'm thinking that I can just go ahead and put together a quick video for you testing this airbrush out. Can you hear it? My microphone's pretty sensitive, so you can't hear it if you're from over here. Yeah, let me do a quick video, because I have a project that I've been thinking about doing, and I would love to do it before I hit the road. And it's just a really quick project to test out a stencil that I just got. So I'm gonna have to get my colors ready and get prepped up, and then put this airbrush to a quick little test, so we'll see what I can do with it. All right, if you haven't already, subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. I will put these out back to back so you can watch them, and you can see what the Gaahleri Aventus has to offer. All right, see you in the next video.